Good morning to everybody on Mother's Day. I sure hope you told everybody, especially your mother, Happy Mother's Day. It's Sunday, May 12th, 2024, and this is The Lady and the Legend, and we know the chat room can't hear us yet, but we're getting started a little early today. So welcome aboard to those of you listening on demand. And just to refresh your memory, you can always catch a podcast at LennyMelnickFantasySports.com/live every day of the week at 9 a.m. Join in our chat room. It's full of our friends and great fantasy baseball minds. We love to interact with you, answer questions, have debate. Yes, we actually do debate at this website still. Right, Leonard?
Yes, we do. And today we have a very special guest.
But we can't tell you yet because you can't hear us in the chat room. Right. We like to wait. Yes. But we will have a call today. And what should we do? Should it be official Paul Skeens Day in the chat room?
Yes, according to everybody in fantasy baseball.
Right. Okay, let me just put you kids on hold. And by the way, you could catch the happy hour on Wednesday nights right here on our website, or you could find them on their Twitch channel at Happy Hour SC. I know King Hap has been doing shows not only on Wednesday nights at 7:30, but also you could find him on Tuesdays and Thursdays too, always interviewing a new person. In fact, it was me last week, so you might want to catch that one on demand.
Okay, say hello to everybody.
Well, say hello to everybody when they could hear us, Leonard. The sound is not going through yet. So this is our advertisements. Just get ready for a great show today. It's Lady and the Legend on Mother's Day. And there's the sound. Now all I have to do is let the chat room know sound is good. Okay, now, so we're getting the chat room to refresh. We could start saying hello to everybody in the chat room. We could say hi to Big Al on the Prowl, our fellow Mets fan, Boston Paul. Great to see you. He's sitting at the park enjoying his coffee this morning. Chris JP, which is also known as Zelmo's brother. Danny Fuller, Captain Danny, and his beautiful wife Penny making the coffee. Lenny and me, Mal, Pal, and Tina. Great to see you. Happy Mother's Day to Tina and everybody who's a mother. Rotorius, another Mets fan. Happy Mother's Day to Zelmo's wife, Tony. Timothy, my hooker. Zelmo is here. Couple guests, and you know we're going to have a great call in this morning.
Yeah, we got to call in early in the show, and look, there's a lot to say about this guy Skeens, whatever his name is. Okay, yes. He's taken over fantasy baseball, but we'll discuss it and maybe change your mind about him. We'll see about that. Okay, and as far as Mother's Day goes, it can't be. My mother and I, just tremendous. We used to watch the games together, and then I came home from school one day, and she said, came home from school for lunch, and she said, do you want to go back, or do you want to watch the World Series? So I said, okay, I'll watch the World Series. Turned out to be Don Larson's perfect game. So, Mom,
good morning to Turd, and happy Mother's Day to Mrs. Turd.
I will always say my mom, just phenomenal, right? Phenomenal. Okay, there you go.
And my mom.
And
what can we say about my mom?
Well, your mom is
she's a redhead.
She's a redhead,
and she's feisty.
That's right. And even though I'm 5 years older than her, I call her mom, and that's that. Okay,
and she sent Lenny a card on his birthday that said he was the best son ever.
Best son ever, and the only one. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Well. So we're going to have a great call today because we got a call yesterday from our friend Erwin, who, as most of you know, since you've been listening to this channel for a long time, it was Lenny's original fantasy baseball partner. Yeah. The two of them were the first to ever do fantasy baseball on MLB radio. They went to the All-Star game in Cleveland and hosted an All-Star events for fantasy baseball.
And a couple hundred people were supposed to show up and watch us. Turned out to be a couple of thousand people, and that's what brought us to MLB, and MLB realized then that they had something, and that turned out to be fantasy baseball.
And Irwin and Lenny were the partners. They were partners in Tout Wars. They were partners in Labor. They did everything together. What did you guys call yourself? The Odd Couple.
No, we didn't.
Two completely opposite people. But anyway, Irwin is a dear friend of Lenny's, and he's become a very good friend of mine. We love hearing from Irwin. These two could talk baseball all the time. And one thing that Irwin does very good is that he has such an eye for pitching and for nuggets. He comes up with his own original nuggets. He called us yesterday to talk about Paul Skeens, and we begged him.
Wait till you hear what... I mean, the Paul Skeens thing is a typical fantasy baseball extravaganza. All right?
So
Very
Irwin
typical.
is taking some time out from his Mother's Day brunch to call us in just a couple minutes. He'll be calling in 2 minutes, and we'll hear what he has to say about Paul Skeens. I know most of the people won't even listen to it, but it's just something to pay attention to. Everybody, I mean, yesterday watching him pitch, these announcers, they could not fawn over this guy enough. They were just talking about what a great person, what a great guy, what a great work ethic, what a great pitcher. I mean, everything was just positive, and that's what you're going to get out of the fantasy baseball community. But, you know, first of all, he's a rookie. Second of all, he throws over 100 miles an hour all the time. Not just once or twice. But look, we're going to give some positive and some interesting Irwin nuggets when he calls. And Lenny, did you have something you want to say?
Well, look,
before he calls?
Skeens started off with 7 strikeouts in 4 innings, 17 pitches over 100 miles per hour. And I'll tell you something, it was a crazy game because the 6 bases loaded walks by Pirate pitchers, and 5 home runs by Pirate hitters, and the game only took 2 hours and 20 minutes. It was a rain delay. 2 hours and 20 minutes.
So Triple Play says that they were talking about you yesterday on the Baseball HQ podcast.
How about that? And Paul Skeens struck out the first 2 batters he faces, and at that point, you should have called up all the people in in your league and make an offer for their best player. That's how fantasy baseball goes.
Because Paul Skeens is probably at his highest value at this moment, right?
That's absolutely, and Irwin will talk about that. His splitter is nasty. It's one thing to average 100 miles per hour with a 4-seamer, but I'll tell you what, he uses both as a strikeout pitch.
Here's our friend Irwin.
And ladies and gentlemen, Andy's gonna take it. Good morning.
Hello, you're live on Lady and the Legend.
Good morning.
Let me turn you up, Irwin. Good morning to you, our friend.
So you guys are staying busy this morning with all the hoopla on Paul Skeens.
Yes, but we have everybody in the chat room waiting to hear what you have to say and what you noticed about Paul Skeens yesterday.
Well, let's first talk about the really good things about him, because, I'm not going to get on and talk about what I saw and how it's going to turn out, but he's 6'6", touches triple digits over a third of the time, almost half of the time, and unquestionably is going to be a wonderful strikeout pitcher for fantasy. And he's the real deal. But
here comes the but. Here it comes.
Right. But I saw a couple of things in there that really opened my eyes. First of all, I read a book years ago about balance, torque, release point, tunneling. It's really, really interesting. And one of the things that Skeens does is, at 6'6", when he puts his left leg, his landing leg, out, he stiffens it. Now, that's a technique used by golfers. It's what's known as posting. And by posting, you get all of your mechanics in the right position. So you're behind the ball, you're upright, you're balanced. But from that point going forward is where I question what's going on with Skeens. The biggest thing I saw was when he posts with a stiffer left leg, he recoils at the bottom of his follow-through. He'll, at 6'6" with a stiff left leg, obviously there's more torque because of his size and the stiffness of the leg. He's not pitching with a bent leg and pitching with the bottom half of his body. He's throwing with his arm. It's an upper body motion, and it's more arms than it is body control. Now,
wow.
This is just looking at it on TV, looking at it on YouTube. Nothing, I haven't read anything. This is just my take.
And this is what I've grown up with in fantasy baseball. I mean, stuff about players that nobody talks about, but Willing's got it, and you know what?
Wait.
Most of the time he's right.
So now this is just a little off topic, but there was one time where you told us, look at this guy, his release point, because he's so tall, his release point is so far closer to home plate than anybody else. Who was that?
That was the Cleveland pitcher. He, the right-hander, and he ended up going to Tampa Bay, pitched for the Yankees.
McDowell.
No.
Who? No, not McDowell.
I don't know who it was.
You're showing your age, Leonard.
I don't know.
What was his name? He won a Cy Young Award. He won... it'll come.
Either way,
right.
Back to Skeens.
But Erwin, for Skeens, all right? And, look, everybody's out there. As a trader, and you're one of the best in the business, that's for sure. Would you trade Skeens even up for Max Fried?
The real answer to that is what are you looking for? If you're looking for wins and ERA and WHIP. I think that they're going to hold Skeens back. I think you're going to see a lot of 4 innings, 5 innings outings, so I wouldn't count on him for wins. Certainly as a strikeout pitcher, he is very, very unique. But because of his release point and because of his recoil and how hard he throws, which is over, if you were to drop a ruler between his release point and his and where he throws his arm down to before the recoil, it's more distance to cover, which is more susceptible for injury and more susceptible for fighting control, which is exactly what Skeens has been doing. His control is not sharp. It just isn't. I mean, he threw 84 pitches yesterday in 4 2/3. Now, first outing, I get it, but that recoil and that stiff leg tells me 2 things. First of all, it tells me that his shoulder is going to be under crazy stress. I mean, crazy stress. In the early part of his career, Lenny, to answer your question, in the early part of his career, he's probably a unique guy to have on your team. But would I overpay for a guy like that? Never. Never.
Well, Joey Votto says he threw the best curveball he's ever seen. So that's just a comment from Joey Votto.
And Joey Votto compared him to Strasburg, if that tells you anything, since Strasburg spent the majority of his career and contract injured. But one thing I wanted to bring up about his recoil is you mentioned how tall he is, and what we were talking about yesterday watching him pitch is that once he releases the ball, his arm goes all the way down to his hand reaches down to his knee. So it's really close to the ground. It's like automatic because he's throwing so hard that his arm automatically spins down there, and then immediately, and this is what we're talking about, the recoil, once it goes down after the release, it immediately goes back up. I don't know exactly what to call it besides a recoil, but it's all in his shoulder, and it's a movement that seems to be like not really on purpose. It's like he throws it so hard that once his arm goes all the way down close to the ground, it just snaps back up so hard. And that's where the shoulder problems, you can see really those coming. And also, like you said, everything in his game is all about the velocity. He doesn't look like he has great balance. In fact, every time he does that movement, his body is completely off balance. And yes, he is going to strike out a ton of guys. And this is really not to like deter anybody from loving Paul Skeens, but we like to present that you can see this injury waiting to happen. I mean, it's worse than watching Mason Miller, to be honest.
And
there is a reason why Oakland is now looking at possible trading of a guy like this. Look, this is going to sound crazy, and I understand that, you really can't think like this, but when you have a guy like Skeens throwing the way he is with the recoil, with the stiff left leg, there are two things that are of concern. Yes, the recoil is one, but also the stress on the knee. When you have a stiff left leg and you're throwing at 103 miles an hour, think of the stress it puts on his knee, which leads to bad control because that knee is holding everything back to make sure the pitcher is behind the ball. In other words, his arm is behind the ball to create torque. So the minute that knee gets a little weak, now there's always the exception to the rule. There's always the guy that just seems to punch through every imaginable injury, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But in today's world, I don't think there's ever been, and that's something to look up.
Okay, we have a couple.
I don't think there's ever been anybody that's ever thrown that hard for that many pitches in a game.
There's a couple questions here in the chat room. One of them brings up Randy Johnson, says that Randy Johnson was tall. Did he have the same motion when he pitched as Skeens does?
Good question, but always understand that Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, all the great hard throwers didn't touch triple digits all that often.
And Leonard Donaldson says that Randy Johnson's release point was as close to the plate as anybody, and that's probably true based on his height. Also, there's another comment in the chat room. He says Skeens is more athletic than Noah Syndergaard, but there's real similarities there. Do you see that?
I think it's similarities. I think it's similarities in a sense of what they've been trained with. Look, playing ball, Lenny, playing ball when we were younger.
Yes.
You get taught a certain way. You take that into high school. You try to play in college, and it's really hard to change your mechanics once you get older, because you were taught that in Little League.
That's right. I still play the same way, by the way. I still play the same way. But
in his dreams at night.
In my dream. All right, Will, to wrap it up, bottom line, if you have Skeens, do you market him right now?
Yes, wait. Tell about your trade real quick. Your trade.
Oh, the trade I made.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I traded Paul Skeens and a throw-in, Avisail Garcia, who's on the DL, and I got Dansby Swanson and Dylan Cease.
I love it.
Nice going, kid. Irwin's willing.
So the answer is yes, he would trade
Skeens. You market Skeens.
I wouldn't trade him now because I want to see one of those games where he throws 6 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts. Wait for that game. Wait for that game because it's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's right.
But in a keeper league, you've got to hold on to him until he shows more, where you can unload someone else's team to put on your team.
absolutely.
And this is how I grew up in fantasy baseballs. Will, I love you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, and happy Mother's
guys.
Day. Happy Mother's Day to your wife, and have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me.
All right,
Okay.
bye.
So
Well,
that was Erwin,
yep.
one of our friends.
That's right. And Erwin and I helped start fantasy baseball back in the day.
Yes.
We were one of the original people. We invented Tout Wars. Erwin did a lot. Erwin is not as active in the industry anymore.
But he still watches baseball every
still,
single day.
just
And he
great
calls
stuff.
us with nuggets that nobody else sees.
And still one of my dearest friends ever.
Yes, so
And,
we love Erwin. We
thank
think
you,
of him.
Fantasy Baseball.
Hello to King Hap. Hello to Turd.
Okay.
Hello to Leonard Donaldson. Laura, Mary, Malpal, Tina, Rotorius, Timothy, my hooker, Danny, Captain, Penny, Boston Paul, Chris from Cambridge, Big Al.
Yep. So,
On the prowl.
Skeens is the first major league pitcher to throw 9 pitches at 100 miles an hour in a single inning, and he did it in his first major league baseball inning ever.
Do you know who his girlfriend is? I mean,
Do I know who's your?
yes. Do you know who she?
No.
Oh,
No, do
Olivia
you?
Dunn, dude, from LSU. Are you kidding me? She's like this beautiful specimen of a girl.
Oh, really?
Unbelievable. I mean, look, Paul Skeens is great and all, but we have to admit, dude, I don't know.
All right, 631-406-7141. You have any questions? That's right.
Okay, what about the top, who in the chat room, who are your top contenders for National League Rookie of the Year? You have a few here. I want to hear your first, second, and third.
Oh, it was Corey Kluber who had the.
Was that Erwin?
Yeah, Corey Kluber.
He's texted you now?
No, he just texted.
Okay, so it was
And
Kluber.
eventually, remember, we used to talk about so many players every day. We would make. I had the most fun in my life playing fantasy baseball. And Erwin and I, one thing, and this is amazing, and you know he's outspoken. We never had an argument about fantasy baseball.
Did you have an argument about anything?
Making a trade or holding a player or whatever. Never. And that's the greatest part. All right. Phone number again, 631-406-7141. Top contenders for the National League Rookie of the Year. It's amazing. You got Imanaga. You got Yamamoto.
And it is so early to be talking about this.
Yeah.
Paul Skeens is on the list already.
Yes.
Okay? He hasn't even played. Jackson Churio, he's on the list. I just don't see it. And by the way, the season is so short or so early that, where's Wyatt Langford? Oh, he's in American League. Where's all the Baltimore guys? There's American League.
And by the way, if you didn't know this, K. Brian Hayes has been placed on the 10-day injury list due to a bad back.
Turd is being offered Aaron Nola for Ranger Suarez. Now, that's an interesting trade, and I will say, look, man, if you just look at it quickly, and your first instinct is, gotta be Aaron Nola. Because of although Ranger Suarez is having such a good season, and it's really not the first time that he's pitched well. He has pitched well in the past, and Aaron Nola has not pitched well lately. I don't know how he's pitching this year because I refused to draft him this year, but I'll tell you what, Aaron Nola was one of the better pitchers in baseball, and now these two, what would you do? Would you get Aaron Nola and trade away what is the ace in the hole, Ranger Suarez?
Yeah, but I would take the pitcher who's done it year after year. 4 Major League Baseball pitchers in the modern era have had a whip of .72 or lower in their first 8 starts, and the 3 were, Christy Mathewson and stuff, but Ranger Suarez is among them. But I think now, if you have Ranger Suarez, again, you've got to market him and see what you can get. And if I can get Aaron Nola...
Are you doing it?
I would take it.
Okay. Now, Ben Sherrington revealed that third baseman Brian Hayes has been placed on the 10-day injured list. He's got lower back issues. Alika Williams, who was just recently demoted back down to AAA, he's back up to take Hayes' spot on the roster. Now, Alika Williams is not going to be the third baseman. It looks like Jared Triolo is going to be the third baseman, but Alika Williams will play shortstop, I think. Either way, I did some research, and to make a long story short, neither of these two are worth owning in fantasy, okay? Even though Triolo has lots of eligibility. He's played already 30 games at second base and 7 games at third base this season, so he qualifies in middle and corner. And with the little Alika Williams, he's been hitting a little better than Triolo, but Triolo gets to play all the time. Anyway, not a good fantasy target for either of these guys. If you have Ke'Bryan Hayes, I would look to other teams' players to fill in for you. And another guy, speaking of injuries, is that the Cubbies are going to activate Kyle Hendricks today. And I don't know if Kyle Hendricks is just past his prime. He's 34 years old. He's been horrible once again. 12 ERA, a whip over 2, and he's going to start today's game against Bailey Falter. And his only hope really is that the Cubbies offense will score enough runs to make up for his this guy Kyle Hendricks, I used to really like him for fantasy because he's always been affordable, and but he never strikes out a lot of batters. He's just basically pretty solid to get some innings and a decent ERA. He's not good for strikeouts at all. Anyway, he's going to be activated today, Leonard.
And Matt Carpenter, 38-year-old, 13th round pick of the Cardinals, way back in 2009. He's going to be welcome back. Not really.
He did spend his first 12 seasons with the Cardinals, and now he's back on the Cardinals. Yeah, 38 years old. What the hell? Why isn't this guy coaching someone?
I don't know. He's not really a fantasy player.
No.
The Tigers placed Kenta Maeda on the injured list, and Akil Baddoo. He got off to such a great start.
It's a viral illness. Okay?
And now he's
They
nothing.
need some ivermectin.
No, he's nothing. Jesus Luzardo, Malpal, that's your boy, reinstated from the 15-day injured list. So there you go. And
wait, Akil Baddoo?
Akil Baddoo.
Akil Baddoo. Do. Right-hander Matt Manning is set to be called up to take to the majors today. Now, Matt Manning last started for the Tigers as the 27th man against the Cardinals on April 30th. He gave up 4 runs, 7 hits, and 2 walks over 4 2/3 innings. He struck out 7. It was a no decision. He's got an 0-1 record in 3 starts this season with the Tigers, and it is a 4.24 ERA, a 118 whip over 17 innings. Now, down in the minors, at Toledo, he's got 24 strikeouts in 19 innings and a 3.79 ERA. So that's in the minors so far this year, and he's coming up. I think he is 26 years old now.
If you have daily moves, Shohei Ohtani is unlikely to be in the lineup against the Dodgers. He was removed from the game the other night through
Ohtani
back spasms. So
what about Luzardo?
Yeah, did I say Luzardo?
You didn't talk about Luzardo yet.
I didn't. He was reinstated from
is he good. When he's on, he is just a good pitcher. Watching him pitch, but he, first of all, it's not great this year. He's got a 6.58 ERA so far in his first 5 starts in 26 innings, and that was before he got his mild left flexor strain, and he was reinstated yesterday to pitch, and he's now back on the Major League rotation. And, the Miami Marlins are a pretty fun team to watch when they're doing okay.
Well, they're only fun because they have young players, but that's about it. Now,
it pretty much sucks for them. But they have a home run hat that they wear.
46,000 were announced at Petco Park.
Holy moly!
Largest crowd in Petco Park history.
Now, we should reiterate about Ohtani. Yes. I kind of blew off Ohtani because I was going back. Now, Ohtani is not going to be in the lineup today for the Dodgers.
I said that.
I know. I just want to reiterate it for that pesky Dodgers friend of ours, Captain Danny.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay? Because I don't know why it makes me feel great to harp on the Dodgers, but it does.
Big Al
Dave Roberts.
Wait a second. Go ahead.
Big Al, what about him?
I'm saying hello to everybody.
Okay. Since I'm not intriguing to you, you changed your attention?
I decided to say hello to everybody.
Okay, go ahead, Leonard.
Hello there, Big Al on the Prowl, Chris from Cambridge, Chris JP, Danny Fuller, the king of all hats.
And Jolene.
Leonard Donaldson, Laura, that's what we got in the chat room. We got Mal Pal, we got Rotorius, Timothy My Hooker, Triple Play, White Sox Al, Zilmo, and Boston Paul, SM King Turd, and a cast of 1,000 guests. Go ahead.
Okay, Dave Roberts is not that concerned about Ohtani. He said his concern level is minimal. And once again, you did say this, but I will repeat that Petco Park attendance was 46,701, and that was a record, largest crowd at Petco Park history. They must have all been coming in to look at those wonderful City Connect uniforms that are just blinding.
Are you kidding me? Why do they come up with these City Connect
Malpal, why do they have that colors? Please give me something.
Yeah, Malpal knows.
And by the way, Boston Paul did let me know that the Boston City Connect uniforms are not related to Ukraine, which is, thank God of that.
Some players that you may want to pick up if they're available. Andrew McCutchen, he went 2 for 4 with a solo home run against the Cubs. He entered the game with 4 hits in his last 43 at-bats, and if you recall, the legend told you to pick him up, okay?
Okay, well, that's good because he wasn't great before
No,
that.
he was striking out at almost 28%. But he hit the clutch home run, so 4th home run of the year. Andrew McCutchen, somebody that you got to pay attention to.
Yeah, he's still Pittsburgh's primary DH, but the Pirates, they scored 5 or fewer runs in 23 straight games. That's the longest in MLB in 2 years, and the longest streak for the Pirates since 1965. So they definitely need McCutchen to step it up.
Yeah, and I'm also telling you to pick up Bregman. He has been absolutely panned for his best
Pick up Bregman?
Yeah.
He's already owned, and he's a disappointment.
I think if he's owned, he may have been dropped.
Yeah, he might have been because he was that bad.
1 for 4 with an RBI. He delivered an RBI. He extended his hitting streak to 3 games. So try to grab him if he has been dropped. He's collected a hit in 3 straight starts. Okay, but he's only batting .201 across 154 plate appearances, okay? And the Padres are 4-2.
He does have 6 RBIs across the last 13 games.
The Padres are
4-2.
What?
4-2.
Oh, they're 4-2 since Araz joined the club.
Best signing they did in the years that I've seen.
I don't know.
Besides Macho Man.
I didn't think Araz was that good. He had a hitting streak, but
he's not great for fantasy, but
doesn't hit home runs or steals bases. So
but he gets on base every time. And they have enough guys in that lineup that, they have Tatis, they got Machado, they have Xander who can drive this guy home. And by the way, Arias is not just a great on-base guy and a great pure hitter. He's a clubhouse guy, and they were so disappointed to see him leave Miami. These players love him, so he's already, you could just tell he's getting along great in San Diego, even though those uniforms are, boy, oh boy.
James Caplion has just joined us. Of course, White Sox Al is here, and want to thank everybody for making it to the chat room. If you missed Irwin's Willing, you can listen to him on demand. He's among the best fantasy players ever.
Okay, go Dodgers.
Their pitching has been the key to their 15 wins and 3 losses. The Dodger pitchers, listen to this. You ready for this?
Oh, boo.
Haven't allowed more than 4 runs in any of the 18 games. That's a franchise record, and they have a 1.66 staff.
Yes.
During their 15-3 winning streak.
Yes, 1.66 ERA is the Dodgers pitching staff, okay? The last MLB team with a single season streak this long was Cleveland with 25 straight back in 2017, and I believe they won the World Series that year. 2 of the hottest teams in...
Oh, this is a tough one. Name the 2 hot teams. Everybody in the chat room. Who are the 2 hottest teams in Major League Baseball, okay? Name the 2 hottest teams in Major League Baseball.
Okay.
How about that? We'll keep that brewing for a while, but it's It's really crazy.
The colors for the Boston City Connect uniforms are a tribute to the Boston Marathon and Boston Strong. They are the colors of the marathon and in honor of the victims of the bombing. And that is wonderful to know. I appreciate that insight. It makes me feel much better about those uniforms.
Well, I'll tell you what, the chat room is on the ball. I mean, of course, White Sox Al knows. The White Sox are one of the hottest teams.
And you just guessed the two worst teams in baseball, and that's who's on the rolls.
Yeah, and the other ones is the Colorado Rockies, who've won 3 straight.
Yes, sir.
So you talk about Max Fried.
I can't even say enough about Max Fried and what a great freaking pitcher this guy is. And I remember earlier in the season when I posted on Facebook and I said, if any of you feel like you want to trade Max Fried, bring it on, because he is a soft tosser. A soft tosser, when I say that, means 93 miles an hour on average. He throws 7 no-hit innings against the Mets. He came out after 109 pitches and Atlanta was up 3-0. That's because those pesky Mets don't score any runs. But Max Fried is the first Braves pitcher with 2 6 or more innings pitched, no-hit bids in a 3-start span since Kevin Millwood in 1999. And he's also the first MLB pitcher to pitch 6 or more innings and finish with 2 no-hits allowed twice in a span of 3 appearances since Johnny Vandermeer did so with his back-to-back no-hitters in 1938. And a little more about Fried, which I did above and beyond today.
Okay.
His strikeout rate is down. It's 7.35 strikeouts per 9. But do you want to know why this does not bother him? It's because this guy has never had a ground ball rate under 50 in his entire I guess it would be 8-year span. And since 2017, he's been in the majors. He has never once had a ground ball percentage under 51.2. Now, this year, it's 62.9. And if you think about the formula that Malpal taught us, which is ground ball percentage plus strikeout percentage, if that equals 70, then you know you have a good pitcher on your hand. Now, some of these situations are like when a guy has a lower ground ball rate but a really high strikeout rate, he is more likely to lose his flair, because if he loses any strikes at all, then his formula goes down below 70. And the thing about Max Fried is he's still striking out 20% of the batters, although it dropped quite a bit this year. He's getting 62.9% ground balls, and that gives him the room to allow less strikeouts or to strike out less batters. So I do not like the 7.5 strikeouts per 9, but I love the 93.9 fastball velocity, which, by the way, has been, in 2019, it was 93.9. In 2021, it was 93.9. In 2022, it was 93.9. 2023, 93.9. And right now, it is averaging 93.9. This guy never sways. His velocity on his average fastball is comfortable and healthy.
Unbelievable. Would you rather have, and we talked about this before, Skeens or Max Fried?
There's no doubt in my mind, dude, that I would take Max Fried every day, every season, all season.
All right, exciting news for you rookie lovers. Jason Dominguez starts his rehab on Tuesday or Wednesday with the Tampa Tarpons. What is that?
I thought it said tampons.
Yeah, that's
Did
right.
you?
Yes. All right.
Tampa tampons.
Tampa tampons.
But it's really the Tampa Tarpons.
Tarpons.
What a horrible name.
That's so stupid.
Good grief.
Now, James Paxton had another good game on Saturday against the Padres. 6 innings. He's turned into a steal.
Yes, he really is for the Dodgers.
Right?
Stupid,
6 of his 7
Dodgers.
starts. He's only allowed 3 or fewer earned runs, and in 4 of them, he's allowed 1 or no earned runs. He's got a 2.58 ERA. How about that one?
So Malpal mentions that Max Fried is going to go home to L.A., and of course Danny hops right on that because he'd be glad to take Max Fried on. I mean, James Paxton is resurrecting his career right now. Yesterday against the Padres, I don't know if you said this already,
yes,
6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 0 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Unbelievable, because I know you mentioned this too, but it's worth repeating for those pesky Dodger fans out there who got James Paxton and seriously never expected any of this. In 6 of 7 starts, he's allowed 3 or fewer runs, and you just can't go wrong with the run support that you're going to get from the Dodgers, including Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah, we've talked about how great the Dodgers have been, and part of it is...
Most of it's Teoscar.
Teoscar freaking Hernandez, okay. As he's called in the...
He's hit his 11th home run yesterday and drove in 4. Now he already has 33 RBIs on the season. So the Dodgers on fire, as everybody expected, but, I enjoyed it when they weren't for a minute.
And they set a new franchise record, 18th. This is amazing.
Okay.
18 straight games with allowing no more than 4 runs.
Another great pitcher is Tarik Skubal, who we wondered if he was a little overpriced this year. He's allowed a total of 16 earned runs in his last 14 starts. So Tarik Skubal getting it done. That's a picture of a tar pond for you, Leonard. Did you see that in the chat room?
Okay.
Ellie De La Cruz has more stolen bases this season than over half MLB teams.
He's amazing.
He's got more stolen bases than at least 15 teams combined.
And he had his 9th home run in the 39th Reds game. The fastest anyone has reached those marks. Ricky Henderson did it in the first 45 games. Ellie De La Cruz.
Being compared to Ricky Henderson is a huge honor in itself, but he actually did it quicker than Ricky Henderson. He had his 9th homer and his 25th stolen base in the 39th game of the season. It took Ricky Henderson 45 games for the Yankees in 1986. So is Ellie better than Ricky Henderson? Because now he is.
Hell no. Hell, he can't compare. Ricky Henderson's one of the greatest.
We'll ask you this again in the coming months.
Ask me in a couple of months. Tarik Skubal, 16 earned runs in his last 14 starts. I tell you, we're getting some really terrific pitching performances, and it's going to be interesting. Teams that had issued 6 bases-loaded walks all season, and the Pirates in 1 inning, gave up 6 bases-loaded walks in 1 inning. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And, of course, J.D. Martinez doing what he homered off for Raciel Iglesias. That's the first home run to break up a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 9th inning. The last one was Bobby Higginson, the Tigers outfielder, off of Roy Halladay.
So let's see since nobody has an answer for me, I'm going to have to look this up, okay?
What are you looking at?
The San Diego Padres City Connect uniforms, okay?
Oh, gosh.
What are they doing? I got to find out what's their meaning.
Chat room is packed, and we thank you all. And we and finally, J.D. Martinez. Well, go ahead.
Oh, good grief. Okay, well, it is intended.
What's good grief?
These dang uniforms are.
But it can't be good grief. They're the opposite. Good is one thing, grief is another.
Okay.
How could you have good grief? Give me an example
from Charlie Brown.
Give me an example of good grief.
It's like when Charlie Brown goes to kick the ball and he tumbles and misses it.
Okay,
that's good grief.
Go ahead.
It's intended to blend 2 cultures, Tijuana and San Diego. And that's, I guess, in reality, that's what's happening. So there you go. The colors.
Dicky and Poppycock. J.D. Martinez broke
the
up
pink and yellow are meant to accentuate the region's sunset as well as San Diego's surf and skate culture.
All right. Are you ready? Can we finish up now? It's been a long podcast. J.D. Martinez breaks up the combined no-hitter of the Braves with 2 outs in the 9th. And O'Neill Cruz.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Turd, are you listening? It's O'Neill Cruz. I think Turd just traded away O'Neill Cruz.
Oh, really? He just hit
plug your ears,
120-mile-per-hour double. 4th player with multiple 119-plus batted balls since StarCast. Giancarlo Stanton did it 33 times. Nobody else has done it.
Not even close.
Not even close.
But O'Neill Cruz hit a homer off a lefty. Plug your ears, Turd.
Okay.
He was very concerned about O'Neill Cruz hitting off lefties. And now O'Neill Cruz comes out as soon as Turd trades him away. But I do love J.D. Martinez finally getting in the game, and he did break up the Braves' combined no-hit bid with 2 outs in the 9th inning. J.D. Martinez hits a homer. Let's go Mets.
Okay, first of all, Big Al on the prowl, Chris from Cambridge, Dad's a premier, Danny Fuller, James Caprion, King F. Hall Haps, Leonard Donaldson, Laura, Malpal, Roto Lady, Rotorius, Timothy My Hooker, Triple Play, White Sack Alzelmo, Boston Paul, and of course SM King Turd. And I hope you people enjoyed listening to my partner. He's still my partner, okay? We started in fantasy baseball. I don't even remember when.
1993 is when you guys did your first radio show.
First radio show. Irwin's Willing, the spark to my... And he called me up one day. He was my accountant. I would see him once a year. He says, Lenny, did you ever hear this thing? He read it in the Wall Street Journal called Fantasy Baseball. You want to play? You want to be my partner? Since then, we probably just never spent a day without talking to each other. Thanks for coming on, Irwin. Thanks. You. Hope you people enjoyed them. We'll have them on again.
Yes, we will. And I hope you all enjoy your mothers today and your wives. And make sure that you... Oh, here we go.
Wait a second.
It's Mr. Happ.
We got a phone call. And good morning, Mr. Happ.
We have to put him on speaker.
Yes.
Okay, there you go, dude.
Where is he?
Can you hear us? Call us back, Hap.
All right.
Let's just wait a second.
Well, it might have been a mistake phone call because King Hatch was sleeping today.
No, he's up. He's in the chat room.
He is up in the chat room? Okay, good.
Let's see. Was that an accident, Hap?
Might be. It could be.
He'll call back.
All right. Anyway, we thank you all. Tomorrow I'll be here at 9 o'clock every single day. Andy joins us, and we never have had more fun with this chat room, and we see so many familiar people showing up, not just once in a while, but every single day. Okay, King Hap, if you're going to call back, please do it now.
Yes, we love the chat room.
And again, Big Al and the Proud Dad's a premier, late signing. Danny First, King Hap again, James Caprion, and here we go.
Hello.
How's it going, guys? I wanted to call and tell you a fantastic show today. I figured you guys were getting ready to wrap it up, but I wanted to just wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. This is the first time I've called into the lady and the legend on the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Network, so I wanted to make sure I got it in, said happy Mother's Day to everybody, and I told you guys fantastic job this morning. What a great show. Everybody's here enjoying it.
Okay, well, what can we expect? Are you doing an interview Tuesday for the Happy Hour SC?
Tuesday night, we will be live at 7:30. Actually, I apologize, 8 o'clock. And then Wednesday night, we'll be live at 7:30 on the network. Myself, Taco, and Beantown will be there on Wednesday night. But before then, Monday morning, 9 a.m., we got the legend live right here. So I'm amped up for that. I will see everybody in the chat room Monday. We'll be live on the air Tuesday evening and Wednesday evening. So I'll see everybody then.
Great to hear. Okay.
Thanks, King Hap.
King Hap.
Love you, man. That's the great King Hap. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. And once again, we will the phone number 631-406-7141. We're here. Half part of Mother's Day is answering baseball questions. So we are here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.